Hi, I'm Matt Collins. I'd like to welcome you to Bob Weber Auto Mart on Douglas Avenue here in Racine, across from Douglas Park. We specialize in 1-year-old, low mileage, almost new cars. And if you'd like to stop by and see them, or see them on our website, bobweberautomart.com, we could save you between $5,000 and $10,000 on your next almost new car purchase.
Welcome into another edition of Sports Junkies here at RacineSportsZone.com. I'm Steve Sparky Fifer from the Wendy's Big Show on Sports Radio 1250 WSSP, weekday afternoons from 2 until 6. He is Gery Woelfel, top NBA insider and columnist here at the Racine Journal-Times. Time to talk a little pack of football as we go into the regular season. It's Niner week. It's week number 1. The Packers, the Niners in California. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. It's not really about revenge.
No, it's not about revenge. It's definitely about revenge.
Just a game.
Are you kidding me? After that game was over, you can imagine everyone in that Packer organization goes, we're going to start considering ourselves next year with the 49ers already.
Mike McCarthy.
I mean, they're the gold standard right now.
Mike McCarthy, when talking about going down and taking the staff, meeting Kevin Sumlin, who's got his hands full, Johnny Manziel,
Texas A&M.
and meeting the Texas A&M staff in the offseason, says, well, it was just a football trip.
Yeah.
Just wanted to bond and talk a little football with my staff and stuff. Really wasn't more than that.
I mean, isn't that crazy talk? I mean, why does he even make statements like that? I mean, everybody just laughs at him, and he loses credibility.
What?
You know what I'm saying? When you make statements like that, and everybody knows he went there to learn about the read option, come on, Mike.
It's coach speak.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and people lose respect for you.
All right, so we got that going on. Now let's talk about the meat and the potatoes.
Uh-oh.
Can the Green Bay Packers successfully stop the San Francisco 49ers offense?
Yes, they can. I think they'll be much better prepared. Plus, San Francisco's offense is not in high gear right now. And granted, it's preseason. You can never judge a team by its preseason.
Because Harbaugh's sitting on a bunch.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're whiteouts. They got new whiteouts. I'm not sure they're all going to be in sync. By the way, I looked at stats last night. Do you know how many...
You are the most stats-driven person I've ever met in my life.
I know. I love stats.
Yeah.
But anyways, I didn't realize this, but did you know that Alex Smith and Kaepernick attempted the same number of passes last year?
Oh,
the same number. Who would have thought that? I thought, okay, there would be a little imbalance, But no, precisely the same number.
That's good.
For what it's worth,
Not worth much at all. But that's a nice stat that you brought to the table,
and the crazy thing is, Smith's numbers were better than Kaepernick's. His passer rating was better. His touchdown ratio to interceptions was better.
Well, the fun thing is...
It was a hell of a move on Harbaugh's,
to make that move, yeah.
Clay
Clay Matthews comes out and says they talked to the referees leading up to this game. And now when they do this read option, they are allowed to pretty much within a step or so to drill Colin Kaepernick if they want. And the referees aren't going to throw the flag. Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Jim Harbaugh responds with, I'm going to talk to the NFL. I don't like this. What are we talking about here? Why? Because they're the quarterback, so you shouldn't be able to hit them necessarily if that's the case. I love it. Because if they're going to come out and their main goal is going to be hit Colin Kaepernick as much as possible. Mm-hmm. You want to run that read option? Fine. Frank Gore can have 7 yards, and we're going to try and take your head off of your shoulders. If that's going to be the goal, that's going to be the mentality, I like it. Because even if you lose, they're going to know they play a football game. The last time you saw these guys, they didn't even work up a sweat.
Yeah, absolutely. The Packers are playing mind games right now. But the bottom line is Kaepernick is not an easy guy to put down.
Right.
He's very elusive. And if you notice last year, he did not take a shot basically all year. I mean, he was so quick, so fast. His vision is incredible. He's I mean, it's easy for Clay Matthews to put that, we're going to lay a hit on him. Well, let's see what happens.
Vernon Davis, that is going to be the key, I think, in large part for the Niners offense this year without Michael Crabtree, who's on the PUP list, the wide receiver for the 49ers. He might be back here in the second half of the season. But Vernon Davis, they say, might be in the best shape of his career at this point and has looked outstanding through training camp and so forth. Vernon Davis is going to become their number one option on offense, I think. And the Packers, for the most part, for the last several years, have had problems stopping tight ends going down the middle and have had problems covering running backs out of the backfield.
So other than that, they haven't had any issues at all.
So that being said, Vernon Davis, I think, is going to create problems, and LaMichael James if they utilize him the way they should have last year and didn't. Out of the backfield, they can use him like the Saints used Darren Sproles, and he can create huge matchup problems for the Packers.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean, the 49ers are the team to beat in the NFL. I don't think there's any question. The only other team people are talking about is Seattle.
And Denver.
And Denver with Manning. You know, they go through an easier, I think, AFC. When's the last time you said an easier AFC?
It's been a while.
It's always been the AFC as the dominant conference. But you know what? People tend to forget up until, what was it, midway through the third quarter, late third quarter last year? The Packers were in the game.
Right.
I mean, it was anybody's game, and you thought if you were a Packer fan, you thought you were going to win that game. And then Kaepernick went nuts, the last quarter. I think San Francisco has issues with the Packers, too. I mean, with Rodgers in his passing game, I think they got a legitimate shot whether they can beat them. I mean, everybody says 49ers by, 4 points? Isn't that the spread?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I would not dismiss the Packers, especially when you got Rodgers. He's as good as it gets.
Yeah, I hate that, by the way, for those of you that watch these videos or listen to the radio station that I work on, SSP Milwaukee. I hate that logic. Well, they've got Aaron Rodgers. They'll be fine.
They do, though.
I hate that logic.
Okay, but it's true, isn't it?
Yeah, but they also have an offensive line that does not have a first-round pick.
I agree
does not
with
have
that.
a second-round pick. Does not have a third-round pick. Has 4 undrafted free agents total in the offensive line grouping that they have. Not necessarily all starters, but backups to 4. That is trouble. The Niners are going to be a very physical style of football, that front seven. And the rookie, David Bakhtiari, at left tackle, have fun, son. Because you got Justin Smith and Aldon Smith and all those guys are going to be coming at that side. The goal for me, as a fan of this whole thing, just get Aaron Rodgers out of that game healthy. That's it. Just get him to the Redskins game and for the rest of the season. Do not get him hurt because, A, you're going to have a problem running the football unless this offensive line learns how to become physical because right now you've got Josh Sidden and everybody else. I don't know if they're going to be able to run the football with Eddie Lacy. That's the first thing.
That's a huge
The second thing
question
is if they can't run the football and they give up on that, now everybody pins their ears back and comes after Aaron Rodgers. You have Randall Cobb with a bicep injury that they say isn't going to get any better. You have Jordy Nelson who's been out with that knee who they say is ready to
I
play
know,
this game.
but that's
there
all
are
precaution.
so many issues on that side of the football, just like there is on the defensive side of the football. You say the point spread's 4. It should be 14. I don't see how the Packers win this football game.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. You know what? I might be the only person on the planet that's still not sold on Kaepernick. I know everybody. I mean, last week Jaworski comes out and says Kaepernick could go down as the greatest quarterback ever. He's played a half a season, and all of a sudden Jaworski's proclaiming this is the greatest quarterback. Let's hold off on that for a couple more years.
Jaworski's pretty critical, though. I mean, Jaworski's not
he is
Gruden.
critical, but
Jaworski's not Gruden, where he's just going to praise everybody.
Well, no, but come on. Let's establish some kind of a track record for 3 or 4 years.
Sure.
Before, hey, maybe the best player in the game now, but the greatest quarterback of all time, and that was ludicrous.
Week 1's coming up. Your prediction for the year for the Green Bay Packers. First, what's their record?
Okay. Let me preface this. I follow football.
What are we?
No,
We're not.
I've been following football since the 60s.
Just make a pick, man.
No, this is unbelievable. The Packers could go either way. And all I'm saying is they could win the Super Bowl, like Sterling Sharp is now predicting, or they could barely creep into the playoffs. I think this team is very.
Make a pick. What number do you want? How many wins?
If I have to. No.
Yes, you do.
Because I'm going to say 10-6.
10-6.
Yeah,
that's the most common number.
9-7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that to me is very predictable. But I'm telling you, this NFC is so unpredictable. There are so many good teams.
Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, what are you saying? 14-2?
No.
Okay.
No.
You're going to say 10-6.
10-6, 9-7. I'm
yeah,
right there with you.
Yeah, I mean
Hold on,
there's nothing.
Let's move forward.
Yeah.
Do they win the division?
Yes.
I agree. Now they win the division. Now we get into the postseason, into the playoffs. One and done.
One and done.
I agree.
I mean,
it's not that hard. So we have to do all this.
No. I'm saying though, if they come together, which they could, if Lacy, emerges as the player some people think, if Bakhtiari plays like
if
yeah, exactly.
That's the problem.
But they could. I'm saying if the best case scenario is they could be very, very good.
Sure. And
their defense would be better.
What's worst case scenario?
8-8, 9-7, something like that.
Worst case, you think is 8-8?
Yeah.
Wow.
No doubt. Yeah.
I think it could get far worse than 8-8.
Oh, you're saying they're going to have a losing record?
You're saying no.
You know, well, that's what if it's worse than 8-8, that's a losing record.
You're saying worst case scenario.
Yeah.
What I'm telling you is worst case scenario. This team could win 6 games. Worst case.
You want to bet on that?
No.
Okay.
We made our prediction. You said 10 and 6, 9 and 7.
Yes.
So did I.
Yes.
Then I said best case, worst case.
There's no way.
And you said worst case is 8-8.
There's some bad teams out there too.
Aaron Rodgers got sacked 51 times last year.
I know.
This offensive line.
You got to remember, Marshall Newhouse isn't starting anymore.
Not yet.
Yeah, right. He's not. That's
David Bakhtiari is an undersized left tackle that has no business starting in left tackle. None. Now, again, like I said before, 51 sacks last year. Mm-hmm. He took a pounding. He cannot, he being Aaron Rodgers, cannot take 51 more sacks this year and be expected to get back up after every one of these. He's going to get hurt if they don't learn how to protect him.
Well, no argument here. I mean, the Packers have been absolutely incredibly lucky, first with Brett Favre and then with Aaron Rodgers, to have quarterbacks that have sustained, their talents.
Yeah. He is Gery Woelfel of the Racine Journal-Times. Why do all people...
And you're saying I'm indecisive. You go, oh, yeah, they could be worse than 8-8. But you're saying...
9, 7, 10...
And that's what my point was earlier, right at the outset.
I just wanted the number.
Okay, so what's your point?
My point is, why do
people got things to do.
Why do people Gary's age and older always want to tell me, I've been watching football since the 60s, and let me tell you,
50s.
Whatever. Why do people do that? If
because
I ever do that when I get to be his age, somebody slap me, please. No, I'm not going to do it.
Do you have a concussion yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
He's Gery Woelfel. He's been doing journalism since 1920. I'm Steve Sparky. Fifer.
Before that.
I just started yesterday. Enjoy the rest of it.
I helped write the Bible.